Because I remember that play too. Because I remember everyone was like, "Reefus is hurt after that."
I know.
Because he left after the one-handed catch over him. It was like getting dunked on.
Yeah.
Equivalent to it. But anyways, dude, tell me about meeting A Boogie. You met A Boogie.
I did briefly meet A Boogie.
Wait, did you go to the concert before?
I did go to the concert. The concert was great.
Give me the rundown.
The concert was great. Had a few beers beforehand, and I went with a few friends there, and we waited in line maybe about 45 minutes before we got in, and it was a good vibe for sure. One thing I was able to do is I'm not too familiar with the songs, but it was like this banger of a song, and I said, how about, he said, you know what? I'll crowd surf. So I got my friends to lift me up, and I told the crowd, I was tapping on people's shoulders, says, send me forward to the pit. We're going to the pit, baby. Let's go. And I literally crowd surfed. I'd say I got someone taken on video about probably 40 feet.
You went like
I didn't make it
airplane.
to the pit. I didn't make it to the pit, but I was pretty close.
That's sick, though.
Yes. And I did fall tragically after 40 feet because people were just pushing me up. And I was able to get fairly far because I grab people's shoulders. I say, stop.
Yeah.
I'm coming. Make sure you know I'm coming. And I said, just send me the pit. Let's go. And I was able to crowd surf. So I had a great time at the concert. Definitely no regrets. And after the concert, I think I went to the casino a little bit. A few friends would go to the casino, and then we made our way over to Half Acre. Okay. And it was a friend.
Half Acre?
Yes. So Half Acre and Diamonds. They're actually
Diamonds, the strip club.
They're actually in the same building, but they're different. So underneath is Half Acre. That is the nightclub in Bangor. And then upstairs is Diamonds, and that's the
strip club.
Yeah.
In Bangor.
Yes. And
distant cousins.
I started off at Half Acre, and then I was there maybe an hour or so, having a good time. And then a friend texted me, and they said, come to my birthday party upstairs. And so I was like, yeah, sure. I haven't seen you in a while. So I said, I'll go into Diamonds. Why not? And so I remember I get in there, and it was like the section was kind of in the back, kind of
exclusive VIP.
And I was just sitting there, or we were, and security started walking by, started bulking up, and I'm like, what the heck's going on here? I said, something's happening. And I didn't think much of it. And then I'd say about 15 minutes later, you see a whole group of people, and A Boogie was in the middle of it, with security guards, personnel, DJ, and they go over the table. They go over the table next to me, and I was like, holy crap. I said, I'm in a good spot. And so I'm just going to play this out. Okay?
Yeah. Are you alone?
No, I was with a few friends there.
Oh, okay. It was their birthday. Right?
Yes. And I just remember I was able to go along the siding, and I said, hey, Boogie, how's it going? And he just dabbed me up. He said, yeah, how's it going? and my friend asked him, he said, what is it like to be famous or live the famous life in reality? And he didn't really know. He just said he loves it. Yeah. Yes. They had joints going. They had beer going. They had their own stores and everything,
They were
just flocking to their table. But he was only there. He wasn't there long. I'd say he was there 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I think he kind of crashed because he realized he was in Bangor. He's like, I got to get out of here. So this ain't lit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
I think he canceled before that, didn't he?
He did cancel. And I didn't even have tickets for the first concert because I didn't care. But the second time came around, and I was going to Polo.
Your game.
Yeah, I was going to Polo G anyway. So Polo G was there the night before.
Tap on this, by the way. And you can hear it through here.
Yes.
You're fine.
Yes, Polo G was there the night before he was. So he canceled I think it was a month or 3 weeks prior, whatever.
Right.
and people were selling their A-Boogie tickets like crazy. It was like candy. And I said, well, if I can pay $30 for a ticket, I said, my friends are here. I said, why not? So I went to both concerts, and both were very good. Both great performances for sure. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't go to either. I wish I did. I wish I saw Waka.
Did you go to Jack Harlow?
I didn't.
Yeah.
That would have been a fun one, though.
I wish I could have made that one. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to.
Waka Flocka Flame showed up to the pizza place.
Yeah.
Right next to where we're recording this. O-Hop. He was hanging out in O-Hop all night.
Wow.
And I was like, but I think that apparently they kicked him out because he came at like 2 a.m. and was like, yo, I want a pizza. And they're like, yo, we're not making you a pizza. It closed 15 minutes ago. We turned the oven off, and there he was like, I'm Waka Flocka Flame. I want a pizza.
He came all the way to Orono, and the least they can give you guys a piece of pizza.
It's Waka. He came to Maine. He didn't cancel like T-Pain.
Yes, and that was the year I went to Maine. I wasn't going to that concert or anything, but he canceled the year I went to Maine.
And everyone's chanting "fuck T-Pain."
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Dude.
Yes.
Well, that would have been funny if like Jack Harlow or Waka Flocka showed up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Then we're coughing like crazy over here.
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, so what were we talking about? Oh yeah, a boogie. Oh yeah, cancer experience. Oh yeah, let's talk about what you want. Sorry, I brought that up.
Oh, you're good, Manny.
More sorry.
Yeah. So as a lot of people know, I've had quite the experience past few months. I've been diagnosed with cancer. I'm currently going through a 9-week process of chemotherapy. It is intense based on the stage 3 condition I have. The good news is the cancer I do have, it is highly treatable. It's just an intense treatment process, and it's just really kind of changed a lot of things in my life, past few months. And I'm glad I'm here on this podcast. I'm always open to talk about it. I'll start by telling you the experience from the start. So I was at work. I'd say, I think it was early March. It was March 10th. And I was at work. I felt fine, the whole time. I'm working the night shift. I'm doing this and that. I'm a busy man, and plus I was on the night shift. And I'd say months prior, I'd get this fatigue and out of breath easy. But I hate hospitals, Manny. I stay away from those places. I didn't even have a primary care doctor really, and I didn't think I needed one. I'm 22. Feel like I'm on top of the world, and it's like, why go to a doctor? And if I went back in time, and from here on out, I'm going to do things a lot differently in terms of my lifestyle, eating healthier, exercising more, and it's definitely quite the experience. So starting out, the story starts is I was at work. I felt perfectly fine. It was a great day. I was doing my work on the computer, and I was going out back to check something, and it was about, I'd say 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And all of a sudden, I'm walking out back. Everyone else is working, doing their own thing. And, I'm walking, all jolly, all happy. And all of a sudden, my right arm, I'm like, what the hell's going on? I said, I have to get the break room. I said, I had this episode. I was in shock. It was
killing you.
Yes, my whole right arm. It wasn't a pain. It was worse than pain because it just puts you in shock because my whole right arm went numb, and I couldn't move it. I could not move my right arm. And when that happens, it's hard. It's hard to think until it happens to you. It put me in this shock because I can't move my arm. I can't move my hand. I'm feeling weird. I feel hot. I feel drained. I got to get to the break room. And I just remember there was a coworker there. I said, open the door, please. I got to sit down. And then my vision started acting up. I felt the whole thing down my whole right side of the face. And this lasted like 15, 20 minutes. And a coworker came in, he was talking.
Have you gotten help yet?
I'll get to that in a second. So a coworker came in, and it was literally like, he said, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And knowing me, I'm stubborn. I said, yeah, I'm fine. And I was just in an episode of shock. I was confused. I couldn't move my right leg, whole right side. Couldn't move it. And very uncomfortable. And so night manager came in. He's like, Chandler, are you okay? Are you okay? We need to get you to the hospital. And I couldn't even really walk out of the building. It was so paralyzing and so uncomfortable. I didn't know what was going on, very anxious. And I got outside and I just fell back onto the cement because he was pulling the car up and I'm sitting right there. I can't keep my balance. That's how bad the episode was. And I just got back in the car and we were going to the hospital and on the car ride there, it started getting better. I'm like, this is weird. I said, but I needed to go to the hospital, it was definitely some kind of strange episode that was happening. And so I get to the hospital, and by the time we get there, literally, I felt fine. I'm like, what the hell? I said, why do I need to be here? And I waited in the hospital waiting room for about 4 hours. And by that time I was perfectly fine. And I got people calling me, from work saying, are you okay? Keep us posted, blah, 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 blah. And
what are you thinking? What are you thinking when you're in the hospital room?
It was weird because they thought it could be some kind of like a panic attack. And that didn't feel right because I wasn't nervous about anything. I had nothing on my mind that day. I felt better than normal. And they did a CAT scan, and the CAT scan came back perfectly clean. All physical tests came back normal and the way they should have. And I just remember, literally, I was so fine they released me. And then the next day rolls around. It was Friday. It was my day off. It was getting ready for spring break. And I just remember I woke up late in the afternoon, went to go buy some groceries, came back, and I was cooking dinner. And Matt, Trevor were right there, and a few other friends were. And I was cooking dinner, and literally right as I get done cooking my fried rice, it happened again. I couldn't feel my right arm, and so I said, I have to lay down. I have to lay down. Wait this out. And then by the time I lay down, I was like, yeah, I got to tell him I'm probably going to need some help here. So
they don't know about the episode the prior night?
I told them, but again, we all didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, you were just like, I'm fine now.
Yeah.
I felt better before when I was,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. And
but did you know immediately you were like, I got to get to the hospital if this is happening again? Because that was...
That was the mindset at first, and I hummed and hawed literally for about an hour and a half because I go out back in the living room, I sit down, and my vision was acting funny, and they gave me some water, and calmed down a little bit, and it went away. And then 5 minutes later, I said, okay, I'm fine now. I'm going to get up, enjoy my fried rice, and literally it came back.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is weird, and this went on for like an hour, I'd say. And, at this time, there's really no one around. I said, the symptoms I'm having, I can't drive. And I said, I'm going to grab my paperwork and I'm going to show them, look, I was here last night. You guys released me. I said, something's not right. I said, I have to get back to the hospital. And so I was able to get to snatch a ride. I just remember on the ride there, we all thought it was probably some kind of anxiety attack.
Yeah.
Or something. But again, that didn't make sense in my head. I knew something wasn't right. Okay. So it was like it would come on and off the whole night, even in the car ride. I said, pull over. I said, I'll take a piss behind a tree. I said, stretch my limbs a little bit and see where we are. And we'll go from there to determine if I'll go back to the hospital. So I did that. And I'm like, Yeah. I feel fine. I said, I think we're all good here. And right as I get back in the car, right arm came right back, and I said, okay, I'm not playing around. I said, I'm going back to the hospital. And I get to the hospital, and again, every time I get to the hospital, it never happened, and that's the weirdest thing. And this time it was different because I went in, got checked in, and I said, look, I was here last night. I had these symptoms. I said, I feel fine right now, but I said, something's not right. And so this time around, they put me in a different part of the emergency room. I had a totally different doctor. She came in the doctor came in much quicker this time around. And she said, well, the symptoms you're describing are very intriguing and rare for your age. And we're going to take a much more in-depth look into this situation and see what pops up. And I said, yeah, okay. And so they did a few tests, did a totally other CAT scan. And one thing throughout the night that they found is I had numerous lesions on my lungs. So during this time, once they saw that, and based on other factors on why I came in, it was determined that they were going to admit me the following day to the hospital for specialists to take over. And because at this time we all didn't know what was going on, so I just remember calling my dad, and he came up from South Portland, and I just remember sleeping a little bit, and I'd say at this point it was like 4 a.m. So I was up all night, adrenaline going. They're doing all these tests on you. You don't know what's going on.
Scary.
It was scary, and the scariest part, it was, I remember a nurse practitioner came in to ask me all these crazy questions, a whole bunch of in-depth questions, I'd say, about your whole family health history, stuff like that. And it was scary because she legally had to ask you these questions, and it just kind of gave you.
Do you remember any one in particular that you were like, what is going on?
It was kind of. It's not that it's scary, because when you get this news, you think as a person, if it hasn't happened to you, that you would react a certain way. When it actually happens, it's totally different. It's like not a numb feeling, not a specific emotion. It's just like, wow. It's like, okay. And one question she asked me, and I'll never forget this, was, do you want a priest to come in to give you support during this time? We have one. And she asked me if I smoke any kind of cigarettes, and I was like, no, I don't smoke, but I like my Zyn pouches. And she said, well, can I get you a few Zyns? I'm like, no. I said, I don't need none of that right now, I said. And she asked me, do you have a will in your name? They ask you those questions.
You're freaking out. And did they even tell you what was going on?
I wasn't freaking out, and it was like they didn't know what was going on, but it was all highly, highly concerning. Worst case scenario, they had to tell me in reality, based on what they saw in my chest, the symptoms I came in. A lot was uncertain. She also asked me, which this was the most scary question, if there was one, I'd say, is, do you have a family history of MS? And I was like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask for the Zyn pouches and the services from the priest because I didn't want to give up.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to think of the worst. I said, I'm here now. I said my dad's coming. Specialists are going to look more into this tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So I remember, because I was up all night, Manny. I remember I slept from like 7 a.m. to like 9:30, and I was talking to nurse practitioners all night, asking me all these questions, and just everything going through my mind. By the time my dad got there, and he says, like, what's the matter? It's like, I said, I'm just going to call in a doctor or a nurse to tell you, read my chart. I said, I've talked enough already. I'm tired.
Yeah.
And
you've been there for a day at that point?
But I spent a total of 3 days in the hospital. And I'll be honest, that was a whole experience in itself. It gives you a different perspective. It's scary. It's scary. Hospitals are scary, Manny.
They are, yeah.
Yes, especially when you're a patient spending overnight, and you hear
hours.
You hear these codes go off. Oh, someone just died in room 36B. Oh, someone overdosed downstairs. And they got this going on, and they're running you test to test across the whole hospital, and you see all these, unfortunately, older people, at the last stages of their life, and then you're just sitting there, taking a look around, asking yourself, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
It's scary, hooked up to all these tests. It was a busy and intense 3 days, and
made you think a lot.
That's all I could do. I can't go nowhere. And I was hooked up, they were doing all these tests between my brain to my heart to my abdomen to your back,
Absolutely.
to head to toe. I've had it all. And they determined that I do have testicular cancer, and you know, I could speak for all guys out there. It's definitely something I want to bring awareness to, and it's something we all should really, you know, think about. It's usually very rare, but however, that just because it's rare doesn't mean it's not common in young men like our age. And
especially now.
Yes. I didn't go to my typical, you know, checkups in the past few years, and they found a painless lump that was very small on my left testicle, and it came very abrupt to us. They've kind of found everything at once.
Yeah.
And I just remember, you know, I had a urologist, I had a neurologist, I had a pulmonologist, I had a cardiologist. And I just remember, you know, one doctor coming in, and he kind of broke the news, and he said, you know, it looks like we won't know for certain until we get it under the microscope. But based on the ultrasound and tests we've done, the blood work, that all signs are pointing to testicular cancer. And they pretty much wanted to remove my testicle after 5 minutes of telling me this. And I was just in shock. It's like,
that's a lot.
It's like you're coming for my nut. I was like, holy jumping shit balls. I said, slow down
Too
there,
soon.
Johnny Bravo.
Quickest date you've ever been on.
Yes. And again, you know, it was just a shock to me and my family. And we all thought, you know, given the circumstances of where we are now, that I'd be closer to my family and have everything transferred down to southern Maine. So part of testicular cancer is the way they have to remove your testicle. And I know it sucks. It sucks, but the good news is this cancer is very treatable. It is rare. It's common in men our age, about 15 to 35. It's the most common cancer in men in that age group. And I did have an orectomy, which is removal of the testicle, and had that done at Maine Med, and surgeon, everything, care down there. You know, they were able to take care of me between Bangor and Portland, have everything transferred down within half a day.
Yeah,
literally. I mean, it was, and you have to move fast with this condition. And so I did have a replacement put in. Now, it is steel, FYI.
You walked through any metal detectors?
Yes, but
like what?
Surgery went well, and everything worked out well beyond my expectations.
Yeah,
and,
dude, that's fantastic.
You know, given the situation, I think, you know, once this is over, you know, I'll be a much stronger person, and definitely, you know, eat healthier, work out more, focus really on what matters, and really gives you the whole experience, different perspective. So I was diagnosed with stage 3 testicular cancer, which I know that sounds bad. It's not as bad as it sounds. So it started in my testicle and spread to my abdomen and then up into my lungs. So think of it as in testicle 1, abdomen 2, lungs 3. Another famous person, or a famous person who had this condition, was actually Lance Armstrong. So we all know who Lance Armstrong is. He was he is a famous
cyclist.
Yes. And they didn't know he had testicular cancer until he was, I think, puking up blood after a practice one day. And a lot of times, men with stage 3 testicular cancer don't know they have it until a seizure, when it spreads to your brain, puking up blood. And for me, it was the arm thing. Come to find out,
you're blessed it wasn't your brain.
I know, and absolutely.
Not that you're blessed at all. That might mean to.
Absolutely, Manny. And you know, I'll make it through it. I'll be all right. And it's just one thing I want to bring attention to, because
no, it's a big deal.
It can happen to anyone.
It really can.
You know, living a totally normal life, and then everything just hits you like a brick wall. It's definitely a lot to take in, but you know,
that is a lot to take in, dude.
And I'm on 9 weeks of chemotherapy right now, and side effects from that are tough. I ain't gonna hold back on that for sure. And it's in 3-week cycles. So you caught me luckily on a good week. So I haven't had my intense weekly treatment, week 1. I haven't had that in about, I think, 2 weeks. So when I go back this Monday, I'm starting. It's 5 days, 5 hours a day. And chemo's tough. I'm tired a lot. I feel good right now, but it just comes and goes. My joints hurt a lot. I just want to lay down. Confusion, just hair. I don't have any hair right now, but that will grow back. So I'm looking forward to that. And I should be done chemo and everything should be in the clear by the end of this month, which is great. So,
that's awesome, man. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes, everything will work out, and I got great care on my case, and I'm just so blessed to have so much support right now.
Yeah,
and,
dude, that's
again,
huge.
Yes, and given the situation, everything that's happened, I'm not obligating myself to anything, and I'm just gonna get through this and make me a stronger person at the end. So that's my story.
That's awesome.
Yes,
dude, it really is.
Yes, but
not easy. That's like
hit me like a brick wall. I mean, this all happened, I'd say it was early March.
Like, wow, they offered you cigarettes right when they told you that.
Not cigarettes, Zyn pouches. So it's like a nicotine pouch.
Yeah.
There's no tobacco in it, but it comes in like a little 15 pack.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't vape. I've never smoked in my life really, and I guess to get my nicotine sin out, I do Zyn pouches. Driving, working, whatever, and they did offer me that. Yeah,
that's something.
Low key, they get all the good stuff at the hospital. If you know how to ask.
You're like, yeah, Zyn, maybe not, but morphine. No,
yeah,
just kidding.
No, but I will say, when I was at the hospital, they do offer you a lot of stuff, but I declined. I don't want to take no more medication than I have to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
I said I don't need all the stuff.
Even when you're sick, like just have a fever or flu, I feel like taking antibiotics, ibuprofen, it just makes it last longer. If you're just naturally fighting off whatever's in your body, I mean, not always, but like even when I'll be taking like Dayquil if I'm really sick, and NyQuil, and dude, that just extends the time I'm going to be sick. It seems like, I don't know.
I only take NyQuil or Dayquil. It's usually NyQuil I used to take. Usually I'll take that if I'm not feeling good with a cold.
Right.
And usually that'll help me sleep.
Yeah. I got super sick 2 or 3 weeks ago. That is the worst, dude.
Would you have COVID?
No, hopefully not. Allegedly, I didn't. Yeah, I never know. But dude, everyone's getting COVID right now.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm sick of hearing about it.
Yeah. Well, aren't we all?
Yeah. Or allegedly.
Well, good thing. I think we're also sick with the point, at the community center at Orchard Trails, they've finally taken off. We recommend that you wear a mask. So I think we're all over it now.
I think we're all over it.
If they're over it, we're over it.
Yeah. Orchard Trails would have been the first place to take off the mask.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But
I like living here, though. How long have you? This is your second year living on Orchard Trails?
I moved in. It was, I've been here about a year. About a year. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's not bad. Got a community center over there, pool table. I do like living in Orono. It's not bad because it almost feels like on a much smaller version, you're living in the suburbs compared to like Bangor, where in Bangor, you're just more congested.
It's a city.
A lot of places are available, more dingy, especially downtown. And just like in Orono, it's like there's a younger crowd around, more rural, and it's not bad. It's not bad.
Did you live in Bangor last year?
Nope. I lived in Old Town prior.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I enjoyed living in Old Town. It's still like a suburb vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I lived in like a kind of old person / like 50% old people, 50% college kids. But yeah.
Do you have a pulp mill in Presqis Isle where you grew up?
No, Presqis Isle's not a mill town. There was a mill in Ashland. I don't think it's still active.
It's a lumber mill though.
Yes.
It's not it's that smell. It's not making pulp, I don't think. Like a paper
No,
mill.
no. I wasn't familiar with that mill or area too much, but there was no mill ever in Presqis Isle. No. Mostly just potato fields. We had a mall there. We had a pretty good sized little downtown for the area. Restaurants.
Yeah. Are you about an hour north of Holton?
Oh, now we're north of Holton. That
Yeah.
is very accurate. Yes. Yep.
Cool, dude.
Yep.
Dude, I'll have to come up and visit.
Best
I've
thing.
been up to the Allagash before.
You've been up there?
Yeah, I've done the Allagash.
I've never actually done the Allagash.
You gotta go.
Oh, I'd go.
It's a good time.
I'd
For
go.
real. It's a week.
Yeah.
And you go about 30 miles in a canoe.
I've never been. I grew up in northern Maine. I've never been to the Allagash.
Yeah, dude. I went when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
But dude, if I went with all my homies now, that would.
Did you catch anything?
I don't remember. I was a kid. I was a 7th grader, 6th, 8th grader, something like that. So I just remember driving down all the streams basically. And one time we tipped our canoe over and stuff went all down the river, and it was a mess. But we got everything and we lost, I think.
That's crazy. But
it was pretty fun.
Yes. But yes, I think the big mill town in Maine. Have you ever heard of Millinocket?
Yeah, of course. Millinocket, Great Northern Paper.
Yes.
Well, allegedly, shut down, but they used to print all the New York Times and Boston Times print, like all that paper. And then what was it? Amazon bought all the newspapers, like New York Post or whatever. So now they're basically hiring these companies like ND Paper and stuff to make their pulp instead of Great Northern Paper, which went out of business 10 years
That's
ago. That's
crazy because
Amazon runs
the town of Millinocket relied heavily on that mill. That's why, hence, it's named Millinocket.
Yeah, it was built because for a mill specifically.
One thing they do have though in that area is ever been to Mount Katahdin? I've always wanted to climb. I never have yet.
I climbed. Sorry, Nick, I'm gonna put you on blast right now, but I have to. Listen, me and Nick and my buddy climbed it last year. Shout out Isaiah, and we got like halfway up, and it was just the biggest. That's
what they say.
The biggest mountain they basically.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we had to turn around just because he was like in like khakis.
If you got to the top,
Timberlands.
If you got to the top of Mount Katahdin, would you have climbed Knife's Edge?
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah,
I certainly would have. I would have made it.
I would have too.
Yeah, but thinking
crawl
like
if you have to
from
over the rocks,
Connecticut or Massachusetts, and the biggest mountain literally that you hike is 700 feet or whatever, like a glacial boulder at that point, and then you're like Mount Katahdin.
I can't think of any mountains in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Like you never hear of like any ski resorts down that way.
Wachusett, I think, is the one, but 2,000 feet.
Yeah,
that's how big it is.
Yeah, holy. Yeah, that's small.
Sugarloaf's almost 5,000.
Yeah.
So Sugarloaf's the second biggest mountain in Maine.
I did hear that. Yes.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool to think about. You're skiing that.
Yeah.
The second biggest mountain in Maine. You're riding down on skis.
Katahdin, you can't. No,
you can try.
Yeah.
Try.
You might not make it all the way down. Yeah. Could you even hike Katahdin in the winter?
You can try.
Have you? So you said you haven't hiked it?
I have not.
No.
I would. I would once I get healthier. I'd try it.
Yeah. No, you could do it.
My parents have. They said there was quite the
it's a lot.
Excursion. I think it took them like over 12 hours or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably got there at 6, hiked until like 12. No, probably hiked until like 10.
Yeah.
Knowing us, turned around, but it didn't matter. It was a good time. I love hiking. I love being outside.
Oh, absolutely.
And especially being in forestry. Oh man, it paints a whole different picture of just being outside. You can see trees and plants and see the symbiotic relationship between them a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Dude, what you been into lately? What you been listening to for music?
For music, I like a little bit of everything. I like Ray Shremmond. I like A Boogie. I like Polo G. I like old school Eminem. I like Marilyn Manson.
Let's just talk.
Can't forget Johnny Cash.
Can't forget him.
Juice WRLD. Oh yeah.
You like Juice WRLD?
Yeah.
Juice WRLD. All right, he's a great freestyler.
Yeah.
But no one has anything on Eminem. No one has anything on Eminem.
Eminem's his own breed.
He really is.
Yeah.
Like, there's no one that listens to him, like a classic Eminem. It's like, no one's going to say anything about this guy because he will, like, make fun of, like, the wiry hair or something that you haven't even thought of because you're just not creative enough as he is.
I think people like that, artists like that, the elite ones, they are very, very highly educated, regardless if you're Juice WRLD, if you're Eminem, if you're Lil Wayne. Those rappers and those artists are so highly skilled and knowledgeable in the English language.
Yeah.
100%.
And
the way they can use and emphasize sounds of words and rhythm, true geniuses.
Yeah, it's true. Yes. Dude, it's fun. Dude, flowing. Have you ever been into freestyle rapping? I know that Jake Ebert, your roommate.
Yes, Jake is a nasty rapper. Nasty freestyle rapper. He doesn't do it a lot. But
I gotta
when
get
he
him
does,
on the podcast.
A chill just runs right through you because it's so nasty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, I like these yellow glasses. Where'd you get these puppies?
So these glasses.
Casino glasses?
I got them. It was at Best Buy. They're blue light glasses. So as much as we use technology, whether we're on the computer, watching TV, checking out our phones, exposures to light, over time, that takes effect on your eyes. And so these blue light glasses, they don't help me see better. I can see perfectly fine through them, but they just help me prevent lights. Blue lights help me sleep better and whatnot. They're not prescription or anything. You can buy them for like $40 at Best Buy.
Yeah.
And plus, I think they look pretty good.
I do too. God damn it.
But yes, I've never been really musically inclined. That's why I've never really tried freestyle rapping. I just stick to basic stuff. But I remember the only time I tried playing an instrument, it was fifth grade year, right? I'm in fifth grade, and a lot of my class, they introduced us to band, right? And I remember I played the trumpet first. That was my instrument of choice, and started out okay, with the music signs on those buttons on top of the trumpet. It was I had a partner too, and we'd take these music classes together individually, or it was just two of us, and that's when the instructor would teach us how to play the instrument. The sound sounded so bad on the trumpet; it sounded like a dying rabbit. I kid you not. And he'd show me all these tricks to do better and whatnot. I couldn't play it to save my life. And I remember I was so bad. And people I went to school with can attest to this. They switched me from the trumpet to the trombone. So trombone's a much bigger instrument, but it's easier, I don't know, to blow into or something. I don't know. But anyway, I was so bad. My instructor's given up on me. I can't play the trumpet. We'll just give this kid a trombone. And I remember, it was as the year went on, that's when we'd have all our concerts and whatnot. And I couldn't play the trombone no better than I could play the trumpet. So I literally during, I think, our 3 big concerts, I'd sit there on the trombone, over me, and I'd look over to my left. I'd look over to the left, look over to the right. And I sit with the trombone players, trumpet players sit with the trumpet players, trombone players sit with the trombone players. And I just look over to, my friends next to me, and I would just mock their hand movements and not even blow in the instrument. Yes.
They were like, wow, there's a second trombone over here.
And that actually made the band sound better. So maybe I was doing something.
That's what I'm talking about. Dude, you're out there sitting brave.
Yes. That's the only year I tried to test out my musical waters, but it just didn't pan out, unfortunately.
Well, next time, buddy.
Next time
you hear a beat,
just
start spitting bars.
Maybe one day, we'll see. But I'd rather listen and watch music than try to make it. I'm just not. It's just not my nature, I guess.
It's not everyone.
Yeah, everyone's got their own strengths and weaknesses, but yeah.
Like, I don't know. I grew up listening to a lot of music, and I'm sure you did too.
Yes.
So
yes,
something ingrained in us.
Absolutely.
It's got the beat.
Yes, my mom. She grew up when I was a little kid. She liked She liked everything almost just like me, but it was like her band at the time was AC/DC.
Oh, that's cool.
And
My mother's favorite was Johnny Cash.
Oh,
So, like you said that earlier.
I love Johnny Cash. I would love to see a concert today somehow. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but it would be cool, like almost like a Woodstock, but it's all these like ghosts and spirits from
Tupac,
Johnny Cash,
Juice
WRLD. And you get all these different kinds of people, like our grandparents who listen to Johnny Cash and listen to Elvis, like Elvis, Johnny Cash, Juice WRLD. I don't know who's another one. Whitney Houston, maybe. Tupac.
Who's John Lennon?
John Lennon.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. There's so many famous dead musicians.
Oh, absolutely. Kurt Cobain's another one.
Oh, yeah.
And he represented the 90s very well. Kurt Cobain, great artist, great music. What would he have made if he lived? If he didn't die young?
Well, I don't know. That's a tough question.
Like Smells Like Teen Spirit. There's never been any kind of song or music like that prior until he made that.
Right. Yeah.
Like he defined the early 90s like hit music.
He did.
Oh yeah.
He paved the way for Green Day and many others, dude. Even Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. Freddie Mercury, Johnny Cash, Juice WRLD, a concert like that.
Imagine if they had probably like a week thing, and one day was like the 60s, and one day was like the 70s, and one day was like the 80s. And so they
and at the end you just see all their spirits come out on stage, and then gas comes out, and they're just waving their hands back in the smoke. Goodbye. Like I went to a Marilyn Manson concert years ago in Bangor. They had this what was it? It was like a metal fest or something. And I saw Hollywood Undead, 3 Days Grace, Lamb of God.
Breaking Benjamin, were they here?
Maybe they had a lot of
they always
pretty good artists. Yes.
I don't know why.
Well, Bangor concerts, like I've gone to concerts in other places like Westbrook, even the Cross Center, but Bangor Waterfront's concert, the whole vibe is like you got the casino, you got the hotel right there, the river right there, the summer vibe. Like Bangor Waterfront concert is a great venue. It is for the area. Absolutely.
No, yeah, I don't doubt it. Is it on the river?
It is on the river. Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Have you been to the one in Portland, right in the old port?
I've
the
not.
Boats are coming in and out.
I've been to the old port, but
while the bands are playing,
I've not.
Awesome.
But I did see Marilyn Manson, and I saw Rob Zombie too.
Oh,
that was
awesome.
A good one. That
White Zombie would be awesome to see.
Rob Zombie, I didn't even know who that was prior, right? But it's like I'm there. I'm going to watch a concert. Great performer, crazy guy. Like,
dude, he would be fun to have on the podcast.
That would be quite the show. But I remember I saw Marilyn Manson and this guy. This guy's a entertaining, smart freak. That's what I can use to describe him. It's like the way he performs, he's just a nutcase. Yeah. Swearing, smoking stuff, throwing stuff on stage. But the way he left, so he played his hit song of all time, The Beautiful People. That was his finale, per se. It's nighttime, pitch black by that point. And this is how he leaves the crowd. Like most performers say, okay, thank you so much. God bless you all.
He's like,
or see you later. No. All you see and hear is all this smoke. Like he was crowd surfing, middle crowd singing, the beautiful people.
Yeah.
And literally the song is ending, and then you just hear him yell in the mic slowly in a slow whisper, oh, Banger Maine. Oh, Banger Maine. And he just falls back into this fog. You never see the guy again in your life.
Oh, that's cool. He's like, dude, if Marilyn Manson, I know he made his name off Charles Manson and Marilyn Monroe, right?
That's the point. So he wanted to use the 60s of the epiphany between good and evil. That's why Marilyn Monroe, Charles Manson. Combine those together, and you have the epiphany of good and evil in society. Is the message.
He's kind of like Alice Cooper.
Trying to say, yes.
Alice Cooper. Wait, who came before?
I don't know much about Alice Cooper other than, didn't he sing that song "School's Out Forever"? School's Out, Summertime.
Like, Ozzy's kind of the same way.
Yeah,
Ozzy like biting heads off bats. Dude, that's something. You don't like that?
No.
Now with COVID, it's kind of like probably gonna get censored.
Probably.
But for the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be fun to be a rock star, especially Ozzy.
I don't know. I think,
Probably getting.
I think that life gets to you after a pretty quick period of time between traveling everywhere, people flocking to you. But we'll never know.
There are pretty normal rock stars.
Yeah.
There are, but it's a certain, like Paul McCartney. I'm like, damn, he's a vegan.
Yeah.
It's like, how don't you let the pleasures in life get to you?
Oh, absolutely.
And he's treating his body, and he's going on tour. It's like, whoa.
Well, it's crazy because you've known all these famous artists your whole life, and every single one of them, something about it must be something in your voice that you can sing until you're freaking 88 years old.
Yeah.
And in a nursing home, apparently, because it's like these old guys still perform as if they're 22 almost. It's crazy how that happens.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to be in a band when I'm in a nursing home one day.
Yeah.
And to just be like, maybe we don't need a singer, but we can like play the melody.
Yeah.
Like Staying Alive or something, just on like a piano part. So, no one's going to be able to sing.
Yeah.
When I'm 100 anyways.
Yeah.
Dude, do you think singing is like something in our past? Once we slowly, like 100 years from now, 200 years from now, we're just going to like become more computerized, and we're just gonna like. I
think a lot of songs, a lot of pop stars, even some
like rave music.
Some rappers now, I think a lot of them are heavily auto-tuned and edited to like a computer generated voice almost.
Right.
So I think like perhaps in the future, perhaps there'll be like fake robots with like the perfect voice and perfect tones, and
they never get sick.
Yeah, 100 years
so
from now,
much
you never
money.
know.
They'll never cancel on a concert,
but they're not even real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they're like they're like what everyone wants to be.
Yeah.
Dude, check this. So if everyone gets like a brain chip one day.
I'm not
getting a brain chip one day. But eventually there's gonna be like a robotic hand, for example. And like the robotic hand can be like, oh, you want to turn this light off? And then be like, psh.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't everyone just get the robotic hand?
Well,
and then we would lose all of our biology to like these like upgrades. We'll just upgrade our fucking like sight. You know what I mean? Wear these like yellow glasses.
Yeah. Jesus.
And then like
it makes me wonder, like, do you think an auto chip? Because when something like a brain chip or a chip, computer chip like you propose, do you think, because obviously not 100% of the population would conform to that.
Yeah.
How do you think they would do that? You think perhaps maybe they could put it in like a super, super, super small microchip in like a vaccine or something?
Ooh.
It's tough.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Oh, vaccine.
But here's the thing. I was on a flight once from Baltimore, Maryland to Orlando, Florida. It was, I think, between 2016 and 2017. And I shouldn't say this on a online podcast, but I won't get into specific details in terms of the name of the company. But there was this gentleman I sat next to. It was Southwest Airlines. And so, of course, Southwest Airlines, I don't know if you guys know, but you got to play chicken if you're Class C because there's no assigned seating. So I was one of the last people on the plane, and all my teammates I was with, we were going to Florida to play baseball.
Out of Bangor?
No, Portland.
Okay, yeah.
We flew out of Portland to Baltimore and then Baltimore to Orlando. But once we got to Baltimore, it was a crowded plane. I got one of the last seats, and we were all spread out through the whole plane, the group I was with, right? So I got one of the last seats. It was a middle seat, and the guy in the window seat, he worked for a military company. I'm not going to say the name, but we had a quite informative conversation, and he kind of hinted at a lot of things that he couldn't say, and he was an engineer.
Right? How old were you?
I was 17.
Yeah.
I was 17. 16 or 17.
Yeah.
It was 2016, 2017.
So you're old enough to get it. You're old enough to have a conversation with anyone.
But he told me, his whole upbringing, we talked about sports, and I asked him, he said, like, time travel and stuff, like what goes on in terms of politics, it's pre-planned, right? But I asked him as a joke, like, what are your thoughts on time travel? And he implied that the technology of time travel in 2017 at the time, it's there, but it's not perfect yet. They're still working and doing work on it.
Do you think you could go somewhere, but you wouldn't be able to come back?
I can't give you an answer on that because I don't know. I'm not
I don't
qualified.
know. But, dude, would you do it? Would you do it? Knowing all the knowledge you have now, would you go back to 1900 and just be the king? Being the king, literally, you're like, yeah, ask me anything. And they're like, wow, this guy's actually an encyclopedia.
Well, it's like I could scare people because I could predict the future if I went back in 1900 and say, oh, I know who's going to be the next president of the United States in 1920, 1940, 1910. And I would know if the Yankees won all the sports teams, so I wouldn't have to work. I could just bet against people all day. Maybe I do want to time travel.
Is that worth it though? 1910, dude.
But I feel like
1920.
Just think about how lucky we are. Just the year we're living in right now. Like imagine living in like 1811 in like I don't know, Vermont or something. Those cold winters, you're eating potatoes and
you literally,
broccoli
if you
for
run out of
Thanksgiving.
food, you're gonna die.
Yes, but it's like, how do you even take a bath back then? How do you shower?
Yeah,
how do you keep
have to
clean?
smoke? You have to smoke to clean. Like what do the Native Americans do? Smoke out the tent.
Something.
That's how they used to clean themselves. They used to get in a really smoky tent and then
yes, it's like yeah, that's the lifestyle back then. But just think how miserable that'd be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Miserable, or would it be rewarding?
Like, what are the bathrooms like? Did they even have like outhouses back in 1811, for example?
Yeah.
Like even worse, like think of like the medieval times, like how all those like sword fights and riding on horses, all those like torture things you see in the books and movies. Like I'm just glad I'm living in the time period I am. I don't know about you.
Me too. God damn it. I think we're every day in the future, tomorrow is just going to be easier than today. Yes. Always at this point.
Yes, but I think there has to be a balance.
People are going to get so sick of even talking. Like, why don't we just get a brain chip and we just communicate like ants through our antennas? That just we don't even need to move our mouths. That's too much work, Just just text that through me to our heads.
One thing that guy on the plane told me is the phones we have now, the iPhones. He said we had the technology for that in the year 1995 and 2000. It just doesn't get perfect and modernized until later because that's just how the government works. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I think by the time, 2030, 2040, 2050, I think our phones will have holograms that can pop up, go on Google, just a projection on your skin, make a phone
Kurt
call.
Cobain's going to say, you have an appointment.
You can literally close your eyes and just puts you in this unconscious state, but you're on the internet just surfing in your head.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, have you ever heard of a black
VR?
VR is cool. I have gone on an Oculus a few times.
But is that what it is?
VR?
Yeah, yes. VR. That's basically what you're saying. Imagine just being turn on. And then
that is the future. In the show Black Mirror, they're showing you what the future is, and it's actually kind of scary.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Have you seen the video or that one episode where he's basically a video game creator and he traps a bunch of people inside a video game and then they delete the video game while he's surfing the internet? Basically, he has that brain chip.
Yeah.
And so he's just stuck in that paralyzed motion forever because he can't leave the game because the people in the game deleted it. I don't know. It's cheesy.
Yes,
it's good.
I did see that
Season 4, episode 1.
It's like a Star Wars, Star Trek. Yes.
That was cool, dude.
That is crazy to think about. Yes. Yes. Technology's scary. It really is.
Absolutely.
Yes. Maybe the perfect time period to actually in reality grow up in is to be born 1970. So you grow up in the 80s and whatnot, and technology's there, but it's not too overwhelming. If you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, well, in the 80s, it's not overwhelming at all. They were still smoking cigarettes while they were pregnant, or 70s, 60s. When were they doing that? When did they figure out cigarettes were bad? Is my question.
So, my dad, he said when he was a kid, for example, he'd go to the doctors, and it was common for the doctors, even back then now, be lighting a cigarette, and even a lot of my family back then, they smoked too,
Yeah.
but it was promoted. They thought it was healthy back then, but they didn't know better. And that makes you think today, the stuff they're telling you that's okay. What are the long-term effects of that? Like take your cell phone, for example. You think the radio waves from that,
Yeah.
40 years from now, how is that going to affect us?
Mandatory shot.
Or even Juul pods too.